Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Swimrun Show podcast. This week's guest is Mr. Swimrun himself, really. It's Nicolas Remires, founder of Envol Coaching. He's been racing at the top end of swimrun for over 10 years now, and he's podiumed at a lot of the big races, including the World Champs. Envol Coaching is a swimrun specialist kind of community, really, that does a lot of coaching, loads of different training plans, race-specific ones, from beginner level all the way up to the top. He's organised training camps. He's set up Swimrun Connect, which is a place to meet either race partners or just training partners. Also, he's done so much in swimrun. He's also started organising a race in France, so he's got even less time to train. So anyway, let's crack on. It was a great chat, and we cover quite a lot of ground. So here we go. Nicolas Remires from Envol Coaching. Okay, so we have Nicolas Remires from Envol Coaching. Hello, Nicolas. How are you doing?
Hello, Mike. I'm really good. Thank you. Pretty good.
Good. Where are you? Over in Sweden at the moment?
At the moment, I'm in Stockholm, Sweden. Yes.
Brilliant. Is it warming up over there?
Well, it's depending of the day. One day it's warm, one day it's cold. Today it's a bit snowy, but apparently it's gonna be like 10 degrees this weekend. Then we never know. You need to be ready for any type of weather.
Right. That sounds familiar. Nicolas Remires, a very well-known person in swimrun for racing and coaching as well. First saw Nicolas on the podium actually in Uto 2015, where he took the race by storm. Where it was a mostly Swedish race, and I think the previous winners, Bjorn Eklund, I think it was, and someone else. We were expected to win, I think, and Nicolas and Julian Dents won that race. And since that time, I think was that your first race, or was that the start of everything?
Yeah, that's the start of let's say the start of my partnership with Julian Dent, 2015 Uto, where we really went to this race to win, and we trained for that. I mean, we trained like mad for this race. But I started a swimrun in 2014, actually. 2014, in winter 2014, I started to hang a bit with some guys like Daniel Hansson and this Lele Moberg, who are living close to me here in Stockholm, and I was running with them. And they told me to try swimrun, and then I tried swimrun. I did a few races with Daniel Hansson. We were supposed to do the World Championships in 2014 together, but my swimming level was not good enough, and we didn't win any race actually with Daniel. We always finished second because in the water we were always caught in the water, and we were catching everybody in the run. But then after 2014, I did 3 races with Daniel, and I talked to my good friend Julian Dent, who is an Australian guy who used to live in Stockholm, and a really good friend of me, and orienteering guy, coming from orienteering, and really good runner, good swimmer also because he's Australian. Then he has that in his background. Then we say, okay, let's aim for the World Championships 2015 together, and let's do a proper winter of training and be ready for Uto. And that's what we did. And the race went really well. We took off from the start, and we pushed hard all the way, and we won this race.
Yeah, I remember you really smashed it. So that was wow. Daniel Hansson, so you probably learned a bit from him. It sounds like you're a trail runner and then became a swimmer. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I've been swimming on and off since I'm 18 years old, but I'm not a swimmer from the start. And I've been swimming a couple of years and then stopping for a couple of years, back and forth like that. But I really enjoyed to train swimming for swimrun because with all the gear, I mean that's easier for guys like me who are not swimmer to use gear and to have a bit of buoyancy from the wetsuit and the pool boy, and that's allowed me to not to be too far from the really good swimmer, the guys who have a swimming background. And yeah, with Daniel Hansen, I mean, it was great. I mean, I was organizing some local race in my local forest here in Stockholm, and Daniel was joining, and that's how we met, and we were running against each other basically. I think we had this race every Wednesday evening. Like I was organizing a 5K and really fun race. And then yeah, it taught me a lot of things. And I remember training that year, 2014, for Utilo, the World Championships. And then we went together on the Utilo course. I mean, it taught me everything he knows, and it was really rich for me to learn from him and his friends. Also, a guy called Johan Hasselmark was also there. I remember training with us. Johan, who is now part of the crew of the One Water race with the team of Daniel Hansen, who won the race in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Then I learned a lot. And then when I went with Julian, I mean, Julian Dent is used to be a top 15, top 20 in the world in orienteering. Then I learned a lot in when it comes to running, forest running, technical running. And we took one of my other friends who used to be a former swimmer, international level in swimming, living here in Stockholm, an Italian guy, Luca Mazzurana. I talked to him. I said, well, Luca, do you want to take care of me and Julian during 8-9 months and make us a program to be able to not to be too far in the swim at Utilo? And he saw that we were really dedicated, and he made us a perfect plan, and the plan worked quite well, actually.
Brilliant. So okay, so that's kind of leads us on to your company, your coaching company. So you set that up, and I think it's the only swimrun specialist coaching company that I know of, anyway, that's focused on swimrun. Is that right, Nicolas?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
we are the only swimrun coaching company. There is a lot of triathlon coach, swimming coach, running coach who have some who are coaching some swim runners, or they have some program for swimrun. I mean, we can find on Training Peaks lots of training plan for swimrun now made by some triathlon coach or running coach. But our business, when I started this business in 2015 of coaching, because I was a teacher, actually, I was a physical education and French teacher in the same school as my friend Julian Dent. We were in the same school together, and then when I stopped teaching in 2015, then I started my coaching business. That's when I was also really into swimrun. Then I said, well, let's focus only in swimrun. Then let's try to get all our athletes, all our customer swimrun from the swimrun community, and then we will open from there. For sure, some of them will want more swimming programs, running program, triathlon program. Then we were open to that. But what was bringing us people was the swimrun community.
Mm-hmm.
That was our niche, let's say, and then it kept growing, and I mean, now we still have a couple of athletes we're coaching who want some triathlon, doing some triathlon or just some running race, but they're all doing some swim run events at some point during the year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So and you've, alongside that, I know you've continued to race a very high standard and continue to do so with several podiums through the years. And you're always at the world champs. What's amazing is, I mean, there's so much we could talk about with Envol, but if you go to a race that you guys are at, there's a big community feel of your kind of members, all in the kit. It's like a proper team. And you go to the world champs. I saw you there with I don't know how many you had. We had quite a few Envol members last year. And it stands out in swimrun because it's not swimrun generally isn't like that at the moment. It's a bit more individuals or teams, a couple of friends, maybe a small group. But you guys definitely stand out in that field.
Then yeah, that was a continuity of let's say 2015. After 2015, and with Julian Dent, we finally finished third at the World Championships, 9 minutes to the winners.
Wow.
That was I think my best race, the one that I enjoyed the most because I was racing with my friend and we were sure we're gonna win this race. That was like we were there for winning. We had no idea how hard we had to go. We just went hard, and then we're gonna win at the end. That was when you're racing without a limit, that you can make impossible things happening. Then it was fun. Well, finally we didn't win, but and anyway, after this race, well, Julian told me that he needed to refocus on orienteering, and he wouldn't be able to swim for 2016. And I said, okay, I need to find a new partner. Then I tried different guys, different partnership, and I never really found the same fun in racing that I had with Julian, because he was my friend, still my friend. And then I decided to create a group for training with me here in Stockholm. And at the same time, I was starting coaching some athletes. Then some people from outside of Stockholm, some French people, that, it looks really good what you're doing in Stockholm with your training group. I mean, can we be part of this training group even if we are in France? I mean, we can maybe do the same session as you where we are saying, yeah, why not? That's a good idea. Then that's how we started becoming a bit more international. And we were going to in 2016, going to some races, then meeting these other people from Envol, from other countries. That's where it was really fun to meet other Envol swim runners at these events. Then that was more like the team side of Envol. We called it like the team Envol, like being part of going racing and following a training plan for racing and meeting at the races. And on the side, I was still coaching, starting to have some coach working for us, for Envol. And basically today, 2024, we have about 300 members who are in Team Envol, let's say, around the world in more than 30 countries. And like you mentioned before, the World Championships like last year and the year before, we had about 50 athletes from Envol joining the World Championships. And actually, I'm looking now 2024, and we have a majority of women from Envol, more women than men from Envol coming to the World Championship 2024, and that's really cool. That was for the little anecdote. Anyway, then we try to have during the year some special events like the World Championships where we try to really gather. We're doing some special training the day before, just some meetups like we did in Swimrun Hydra in Greece in November last year. We really tried to make this event like some Envol meetup, and it's really fun. People like it, on the side of the coaching, then we have this Team Envol, which I like to call it more a community. We are the Envol community, the Blue Nation, people start to call it. I think this is Michael Lemel who call it like that at the race briefing in 2022, I think, because we were like 50 people all in blue in the briefing room at the World Champs, and they say, well, there is a special nation, there is not only a country, but this is the Blue Nation, the Envol team, and that was really cool. And then that stays, and now people call us the Blue Nation. But and also there is all the things that people don't see, but this is what we're doing online, because we have some WhatsApp groups with different topics, different groups. Like we have the Americans group, the French group, the UK group, and it's the Stockholm group. It's really alive, especially now if I'm talking about the US group. I mean, it's always conversation happening. People are talking. It's always a new member coming every week or every day, and it's really welcoming. It's really welcoming. That's how we want it. Huh? And some of these people, they want more. They want some more individual coaching. Then we have some coach who give this extra coaching. Some people, they're just happy to be part of the community, to get part of this WhatsApp group and to meet during the race. Some people, they're happy to have their generic plan. We have this generic plan, really basic, but that's if you follow this plan, that gives you some routines to stay healthy. And then we give you a plan more specific for your race. And we're also offering lots of discount for races for different brands. And that's people find something they like in our coaching, and they join at different level, let's say.
Yeah. I've noticed you have race specific plans, which is pretty cool, across from America to Sweden to France. So yeah, it's pretty comprehensive what you offer.
Yeah, and that's really interesting because now when you just take your membership, your Envol membership, which is about $20, €20 per month, it's 220 Swedish koron, and let you make the conversion. But you get access to this WhatsApp group, to this community. You get a generic plan, really basic to make your base fitness, and then you get access to all the discount. And then when it's time to get ready for the race that you're planning, if you're planning a race, then we're going to put you on this specific training plan. Usually it's 8 weeks or 12 weeks. That's what nothing more than that. I think it's too much otherwise. But now what we start doing more since 2023, October, November, this specific training plan, we're really making them, I think, extremely good, because this is some of our coach who have been participating in these races, that's reviewing all the specific plan and making sure that these plans are really adapted for the race. They're really specific to the race. I would say like the last 5-8 years, I mean, this is me who did all this plan. But I didn't go to all these races, and I really tried to make the plan according to what the race organizer was telling me. But now that we have lots of members, lots of coaches who have been to these races, and we can use their knowledge and make this plan really, really specific. And otherwise, I mean, something we do also is like we partner with some races, some race organizer. Now we have about 15 races where we call them the endorsed race. And these races, there is a race a bit everywhere in Europe and too in the US. These races are close partner to Envol Swimrun, which means at these races, we know we're going to have some Envol member there. We're going to be there on these events to talk to the participant, to help the participant to feel more confident for their race. And we really want to create a good, solid partnership with this race organizer, because I think that's a way to grow the sport and to make people more confident to join some of these events, their first swim run, or to perform better at this local swim run.
Yeah. So, you're trying to help everyone, aren't you, at all levels, from the first timers to the 10 timers. And yeah, the Envol endorsed races look great. We've got a couple, one in Liverpool, one down in Abu Dhabi there, and there's several across the world, as you say there. Yourself now, I see you're involved in organising a race in France over there. Which one's that, Nicolas?
Yeah, exactly. We started in 2023. It's a small race in the south of France on the Mediterranean coast, south of Montpellier, just north of the Spanish border. A small town called Valras. And I mean, that's a bit where, I grew up like close to this place, and I got a contact with the mayor of the commune telling me he wanted to have a new sport in his commune, a sport really modern with great values, really for everybody. And I said, what do you think about Swimrun? Do you think, Nicolas, you could organize something here in our commune? Well, after thinking about it, because I'm not a race organizer from the start, but I've been doing, I don't know how many hundreds of races now, then I know what it is to organize a race. And I said, well, let's make it happen. But what I really made it clear with him that what we want is a race for everybody. We want the small kids to come and participate. We want everybody to come and try, even if it's just walking in the water, even if it's just walking on the beach. But I want them to have a feel for swimrun, because that's really what it is. And now we have the second edition this year, 1st of June, 2023. And we already have 150 entries, and this is really good. And most of the people coming are local people, but we see there is also some international one joining this year. While they're joining because, this is the Envol community. We're making this event as an Envol gathering, Envol party, and it will be a party for sure after the race. We'll make sure that the party is great. And we made sure that everybody can participate in the main event. That was something really important for us. Then the shorter race is only 7 kilometers, which is doable for, let's say, most of the people. And the water will be up to the chest level, like 1.60 m maximum, which means, sure, it's faster to swim. But if you are not a confident swimmer, then you can put your feet down and you can walk a bit in the water and swim and walk again and swim. And the swim will be really short, 150 meter maximum. And it's going to be 8 transition during this 7 kilometer. It's really swim run, lots of transition, short run, short swim, and the possibility to put your feet down. I think that's important. If we're calling ourselves, if we're saying that swimrun should be for everybody, then we should really include the people who are starting swimming, because that's it's extremely hard to when these people go to their first swim run and they say, I'm gonna do the experience, or let's not call it experience, we're gonna do the shorter distance, which is usually 8 to 10 kilometers. That's what the race organizers do. But then there is a 400-meter swim in the ocean or in the river where you don't see the bottom, where it's really deep. I mean, this is really hard for a beginner. That's why I really wanted to make this event for everybody. And I don't want to hear, I mean, there is a lots of things that I hear, and I hear like, oh, well, if you cannot swim, then just do a running race. That's some comment that I hear, but that's not where we want to go. We really want to make people the possibility to try. And that's, then we're going to have, the race will be in the afternoon, the 1st of June, is Saturday, but the morning, we're going to have some Envol coach, Envol expert there on location. And people who want to come and test their equipment, have the advice from the expert, and they will be able to test before the race starting at 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay.
For sure, we have longer distance. Also, we have 14K and 21K, and for this longer race, where there is longer swim, there is more challenging running. That's our philosophy.
Okay, so initially when you said that, I could see the angle of some people saying if you can't swim, then you do a running race. But I then see it's a step, isn't it? It's a step towards swim run. So you have it in triathlon where you can do a sprint triathlon where the swim is in the pool, and you could obviously, it's in your comfort zone, or more so in a comfort zone than in a river or the sea. And people then, they do a sprint triathlon in the pool, then obviously the bike and the run. They feel comfortable and they step up, don't they? So I see where you're coming from. It's kind of a step towards, more challenging swims that's needed in the sport.
I mean, something we do. I mean, we're coaching online, but we also organizing training camps, and we coaching also. We have some PT session here in Stockholm. We have some groups. I mean, we're taking groups in here on the archipelago in Stockholm or in different locations. Like I have a few training camps this year already planned in like in Croatia, in south of France, on Stockholm archipelago, and one in Greece, in Hydra, where we have more than 40 participants already who sign up for this camp in October in Hydra. I mean, it's full already. And at this camp, it's going to be only beginner women from France. And we did this camp last year already in Croatia with more than 20 persons. And they were all beginner. And after 5 days of training, specific training for swimrun, specific open water training, and the half of the group, they were not crawling. They were only breaststroke. Well, at the end of the 5 days of training camp, they all did a 12-kilometer swim run, crawling. Sure, some of them took some rest, but they all did it. And that's really shown me that this is really a sport for everybody, because and that's really where we want to put more our focus, because it's really hard to, when we get some new members or some new athletes who they are beginner swimmers, they don't know how to crawl. I mean, it's hard to just share a training plan online and to give them a session to do. I mean, what they have to do is to get a local coach to learn how to crawl and to have the basic, and then after that you can follow a plan and then improve from there. I mean, I've seen that over the years. I mean, I've seen some of my athletes doing the world championships, and when I started coaching them, when they start joining Envol 5-6 years ago, they couldn't swim crawling, they couldn't crawl, and now they're doing the world championships, these people. That's why there is no limits, basically. I've seen it, and not only one person, I've seen at least 10 to 20 person. They couldn't crawl 10 years ago, and now they did the world championships of swim. That's kind of amazing. Then that's why during this camp that we're organizing, we're really trying to show people that, yeah, this is doable. This is really a sport doable. And that's what we want during our event we organize in Valras. And that's a bit the value we want to share with all these endorsed race organizers that are partners with Envol. We want to make them realize that, yeah, we can have some pure beginners, some people who don't know how to crawl. With a bit of training prior to the race, they will be able to do it if it's really adapted to but I understand some of the race organizers, they don't want to have short race just for beginner. They're more extreme race, which is fine, but it has to be clear, for the participant. Otherwise, it's not a good experience. You're gonna go to a race and you think it's a race for beginner. That's how they advertise it. But then, I have to swim 400 meters in deep water in the ocean. That's tough.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, it's changed, hasn't it? I mean, I suppose pre-2018, I guess, maybe a bit earlier, it was all, pretty endurance kind of based. It was tough swims, and now there's so many short distances across the world, from like 6K, 10K. So yeah, it's. I think the organisers have noticed that and offered more beginner options. But beginner it's a vague term, isn't it? It could be misunderstood. Yeah. So and
it is totally. I think yeah, to get people to learn how to crawl, because I mean, let's be. You cannot do swim run. You cannot swim with shoes and doing breaststroke. I mean, it's gonna lead to a bad experience. I mean, it's that's not good at all. You need to have a bit of basic of crawling, and even if you are not a swimmer, if you don't have a good position in the water, if you're not floating well, you have now some tools. You have some pool buoy. You have some wetsuit, and if you're training a bit specifically, then you will be able to do your entry level race. And there is some also I mean, we have been discussing with the race we're organizing in France, because we were thinking also doing, why not a backyard race? This like there is a couple now. This is really adapted for everybody, especially if the swimming distance and running distance are doable, and then you have a bit of a rest before the next start, and people can do as many starts as they want. But there is a lots of different formats. Like there is some super sprint, like our partner from Swimrun are doing. I think in Liverpool they do the type of backyard. Just need to make sure that the distance are doable, and not to put the people too much into an uncomfortable place where they will say, oh, it's too hard for me. But it's I reckon Swimrun is the next. I really see Swimrun becoming an activity that people will do on their Sunday morning activity with their friends. Instead of going for a bike ride or going for a walk or a trail run, then they will put their swimrun gear and then they will go for a swim run with their friends. I think that's the future of this sport. I really see the competition side of swimrun staying for a minority of people, the people who like competition, who like to compete, who want to qualify for some world champs, European champs, whatever it's going to become. But I think majority of the people will do swimrun as a nice, fun activity to do after work or to do in the weekend with their friends, and that's the way I think the sport is going.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, it's I think it is going that way a little bit. Just coming back to your training camp, that's a great result. Getting people who could only breaststroke, well, not only breaststroke, because breaststroke's actually can be quite technical. But going from breaststroke to front crawl in was it, a week? That's great. That's a good endorsement for the training camp there.
It is, and I mean, we have a great coach at Envol. I mean, like this camp last October in Croatia was that my coach Sabina Rapelli. I mean, who is she's sure a top athlete, but she's also an amazing coach. And you need to adapt to the customer. I mean, you like I say, you cannot put them in an uncomfortable place, and if you're coming to a camp like that and a swim run camp with us and you don't know how to crawl, then you already have a will to learn how to crawl, and then you need to trust the coach and trust the process for sure. But basically, yeah, we spent a lot of time in the water, working on the basic, on the breathing, on the synchronization, and to have fun in swim run. Doing a 12-kilometer swim run like we did with this group last year. I mean, you don't need to be super fast or top champion. You just need to feel comfortable in the water, and basically just floating and getting a bit of propulsion. And then what we're really believing in it's a team sport. It's you need a partner or a couple of partners, because we like to put our customer not only with one partner, but sometimes with 2 or 3 partners, and we can attach everybody when they swim. It feels really more safer for them and for us, for the coach too, especially when we are doing some crossing between islands or stuff like that. But it's to give them this confidence that they can float and they can get a bit of propulsion, and even if it's going really slow, I mean, they're having fun, and they didn't want to stop at the end. I mean. Yeah. If some of them, they were not fit enough to keep going, but some of them they just wanted to keep going for the full day, and that's really actually most of these people who came to this training camp last year. I think we have like 16 of them out of the 22 coming to Valras Swimrun to our race 1st of June, and they all sign up for the 14-kilometer race.
Oh, and that's brilliant.
I mean, big step up, starting from beginner and 8 months later going for a 14K swim run, and
yeah, that's a big step. So yeah, that's a good point actually. I've tried that myself with 3 on a tow line in line, and if you've got it was a situation where there's 2 good swimmers and one not so good, and we thought we would stick together in this crossing, just training, and it works great, doesn't it? Yeah, people love it. So yeah, that's a good one. If there's three of you guys, don't worry about that.
It works very well. Works very well. And we're doing some training camp on the Stockholm archipelago, and usually this training camp in the Stockholm archipelago are in June, July, August, September. Otherwise, the water is just ice or it's too cold. And but then that's also the period where there is the most traffic on the Baltic Sea, especially between the islands, and lots of sailing boats, lots of jet skis, and there is some if you're doing some long crossing, quite exposed, then sure, we always have our safety boats there. But some of these swim, I remember attaching behind me 7-8 people, and like this, we're making just one line. I have another of my coach just swimming around just to make sure that that everybody is okay behind in the line. But it's just to make some crossings like that. Safety first. It's that's I think. When you're a beginner, if you want to try swimrun, I think the best thing to do is to look in your area. Now there is swimrunner almost everywhere now. Then to find this local swimrunner, addict of swimrun, and that's what we do when someone contacting us. I'm living in this area. It's really remote. Do you have any coach there? Well, no, we don't have coach, but we have some Envol friends and members there in this area. Then we connect them together, and these people are always happy to show the beginner their local area. And then when you go for this first experience of swimrun, be realistic, stay along the coast, maybe just swim along the beach. And that's what we do during our training camp. We're really trying to progressively start really basic with some easy swim, some easy transition, and progressively we're doing some a bit more challenging sections. But the swim along the coast, along the beach, where someone can see you, when maybe someone can follow you on the promenade or on the beach, just to make sure that you're okay. I think that's important.
Yeah, and I noticed there's nearly 20 Envol members, I think, in the UK. So, there might be more. I don't know, but there's quite a few, isn't there?
Yeah, it's between 10 and 20. It comes and goes, but it's we have a couple around London, and we also, the good thing now, we have a sponsor at Envol called Orama. It's a alarm company, international, based in Italy, but there is a branch in the UK, in Nottingham, Birmingham area.
Right.
And the good thing to have a sponsor like that who has nothing to do with swimrun. This is a fire alarm company sponsoring swim runners. Then the people working in this company now, they want to try swimrun because they know about swimrun because they're sponsoring us. We have been promoting the sport pretty well the last 2-3 years with them, and now we have 400 people working for this company in Europe, and they know about swimrun. And some of them, 20 of them, they're interested to try the sport. Then we will make sure that they have the opportunity to test, and because there is some race close to where they are, like the Liverpool one, like the Wales swimrun, like the swimrun in Wales from We Swimrun in September too. And this is some race that these people will be able to try.
Yeah, that's good, bringing new blood into the sport. Okay, so just on your training camps there, Nicolas, I see. So your Hydra one, which is in Greece, at the end of the year there, that's sold out, but you've got one in Croatia, is that right? And France?
Yeah, training camp. This is tricky, training camp, because we tried a lot of training camp the last 10 years, and it's really hard to get a good amount of people the week when you're setting the training camp. Some people will say, oh, too bad it's that week, it would have been better next week. It's never fitting the calendar of people. Then I decided last year that I wouldn't do any more camp like that for now, because I think it's too. We actually that's interesting. We have a camp. We had a camp in the U.S. in Austin, in Texas, in February, where we had 26 people joining, and they were all Envol member. We decided to do a camp just for the Envol member in the US, and we based it in Austin, which is really central of the US, and we got people coming from everywhere from the US at this camp. Then, yeah, it worked in that case. But the US community, I mean, we have about 50, 55 people in the US as member. They, like I say, they're really active on the WhatsApp groups, and they really wanted to all meet there, and was a bit special. But in Europe, I find it a bit complicated, maybe because there is so many races, so many events, so many communities everywhere. And every time I try to put some dates, it was never fitting. Then I say, okay, now all the groups we're going to have in in Europe, it's going to be with some community or some groups already made. That's why now I'm taking a group in here on the Stockholm archipelago in June for 3 days. But this is a group of 12 friends, 12 people, and they want to discover the Stockholm archipelago in Swimrun. And then the group was already made. It's easy. They have a budget. I tell them what we can do with that budget. They accept or they don't accept. Same in Croatia. I'm taking some people in May for 3 days there in close to Var. Same group of 12 with a budget. And the camp in Hydra is a bit different because one of my athletes and friend, Lucille Woodward, she's a French coach, fitness coach. She has a big community around her, and she wants to do some swimrun camp, and then she's asking Envol to organize the camp for her. And she already have the community. Then it was quite quick to sell 40 entries for this camp in Hydra. But the group is, basically the group was already made coming from Lucille. That's why, I mean, if you are a group of people, if you are a community, a group of friends, if you want to have our expertise, our knowledge from myself or some of our coach, then we can chat, and basically it's on demand. Basically, for now. But after the success of the camp in Austin last February, then we're thinking, okay, maybe we should have a camp just for the UK, a camp just for the France, just for Sweden, and try to gather all the Envol friends and members during this camp. Let's see what's we will go for in the future.
Okay. Yeah, no, I understand that. That makes sense. Okay, and just on that, kind of linked to communities, is the Swimrun Connect, which is a way to meet swimrun partners potentially or friends. Is that you've got plans to develop just that into an app, or what's going on there?
That's a good question. I really wanted to have an app because, like I told you before, swimrun is a sport where a sport that you share with others. Sure, now there is a lot of solo race, and you can go swim running by yourself. Sometimes I go swim running by myself here where I live, and that's fine, But I wanted to have a platform where we can meet some other swim runners for training or for racing. That's why when we launched Swimrun Connect last year, I mean, we work on that since before COVID. I was working on that already, and we managed to make it happen last year. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it as an app last year, but maybe it will happen in the future, hopefully. We have about 160 people already who create a profile. And what's important is, you create your profile, you put your location, if you want to do some race, which race you are interested in doing, what type of partner you are looking for. And and you can meet some people, you can contact them by different channels on the platform. And we really think that if the different communities, the different race organizers, if they're pushing their participants or their group members to create a profile in Swimrun Connect, then we're gonna have a big group of people, and then it's gonna be easier to get more connections and to find new friends. Because I mean, I'm really amazed by, like I was telling you before, I was amazed by the athletes who couldn't swim 10 years ago, and now they did a world championship. But I'm also amazed by all these people that they met some new friends. They are, or even more than friends for some of them, just because they joined the Envol community, and I mean, it totally changed their life. Some of these people, and that's amazing. And I think now with this platform Swimrun Connect, I think we can keep growing that way, and yeah, hopefully 2024 we manage to get more than 1,000 profile on Swimrun Connect, and it will be the place where you can find your swimrun friends or race partners.
Yeah. Oh, it
That's the
sounds
goal
brilliant.
of this.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, that's all the cool stuff. I just wanted to ask you about you've gone into the world of organising the race down in France there, and I'm interested in so the Triathlon Federation of France have kind of got some overseeing of the rules and regulations, I think. How have you found that?
I mean, I didn't go the easy way for our first race organization, because I mean, I'm living in Sweden. I'm Swedish, to have a Swedish passport, and it would have been really easier, I think, to organize an event in Sweden. But I decided the hard way. Going to France with lots of administration, lots of paperwork. It's never ending, basically. And yeah, like you know, I mean, if you are in the world of swimrun, you know that in France, swimrun is part of the Triathlon Federation, the French Federation of Triathlon, which is, I think, a good thing. Why? Because France is one of the leading country when it comes to triathlon. Then we have lots of clubs of triathlon, and now all these clubs, they know about swimrun, and most of them, they offer some swimrun events during the year. I mean, it's quite easy to organize a swimrun compared to a triathlon. I mean, you don't have to block the roads for the bike, and it's going slower than a triathlon with the bike section that can go pretty fast. Then it's really good for the visibility of the sport, because I mean, swimrunners are coming from open water swimming, trail running, triathlon, or more adventure people. But it's triathlon. It's one way to attract more swimrunners, and I think it's good in a way. And yeah, because the sport is under the roof of the Triathlon Federation, then yeah, they put some rules. That's why there is some national championships in France. That's why there is a national team too, because that's one of the rules. When you're part of a federation, then after a couple of years, you need to have a national team. You need to have a national championship. Then it has to be some clear rules. The rules are what they are. They have been decided. They are like they are. And for an organizer like us, Envol, Swimrun, who are coming from outside of the Triathlon Federation, we are more like a private company providing an event. We're more like an event company, let's say, when it comes to organizing race. Then we need to follow these rules because we're organizing the rules in France. And then it could be a bit tricky for someone like me, who was my background of swimrunner, more international, and my Swedish passport, and I see the sport really more free, and giving more option to people. As an example, I mean, like for the age groups, especially for, I'm talking about kids and teenagers, it's quite strict when you look at these rules they put in France. And I mean, I've done the Attila Ute experience with my daughter when she was 7 years old. I mean, she did a 9-kilometer swim run with me, and we were even on the podium.
Wow.
And I mean, to have my daughter not racing in France, my race that I organized on 1st of June, she cannot do the 7-kilometer, which I know she will do really well. I find it a bit hard, but this is the rules, and I can understand and I follow the rules. But with that said, I think we need to think really where do we want this sport to go, which direction we want this sport to take. I mean, like I was saying before, there is the competition side of the sport, but there is also the non-competition, the adventure side. And well, my daughter will probably do the kids race at my race in Valras, which will be like she won't be able to do more than 1.5 kilometers, and she's 8 years old. I mean, that's pretty. She will tell me at the end of the race, Papa, what do I do now? Well, I will tell her, well, you go with one of my my coach and you do a swim run for fun. And that's what she will probably do. She won't take any number, and she won't have any chip for timing, and she will just go for swim run for fun. And I think that's where I think the split gonna happen. If there is too many rules, it will be good for some people who like to compete, but lots of other people, they don't want that, and they just want to join our training camp and go for 3 days of fun swim run on the Stockholm archipelago or wherever, instead of taking a registration for a race where it's strict rules. I mean, I think also, I mean, this is the case in France. In other countries, different, but it might become more international, the way the rules gonna be set. Then I hope that the swim run organizer, race organizer, they will be able to show a bit what they want and what's the spirit of swim run, what they want the value to keep going with swim run. Because I mean, when our friend Michael Lemel and Matt Scott, they created the sport, they put the rules on the sport. I mean, they really try to keep it as original as possible with a team of two, with this team spirit, and then I hope that we won't lose that, at least not too much. But I think we are in a period where things are changing, evolving. We have some great example, like what you do in the UK with all the race organizer trying to communicate and to not to be under a proper federation like the Triathlon Federation, but to try to sync a bit all your ideas and for the best of the participant and the growth of the sport. I think that's one way to see it. And in France, they took another way. The organizer, they let the federation just take over. But now I think, we should really open the discussion between organizer, between federation, and try to find a way the competitive swim run will grow, because there is a lot of discussion. I was listening to your last podcast with Michael Lemel. He was talking about Olympics and stuff. I mean, this is some dreams, but it might happen. In which format? I'm totally agree with Michael. Maybe it's going to be some format totally opposite of the original format of what swimrun was 10 years ago, or what it is now. And but it will still be swimrun. It will still be a repetition of swims section and running section. Just need to be clear, I think. And I don't say it's bad or it's good. I mean, I think everybody is trying to get more people into the sport for whatever reason. But just need to make it clear and to let the choice to the participant, to the athletes to go the way they want. If they prefer to go for a swim run for fun with their friends, or if they prefer to sign up for an event where they will have a time at the end and a medal at the end, it should be possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting. over here in the UK, in terms of the organisers and quite a few swimrun kind of swimrun advocates, if you like, we're a bit wary of British triathlon because of who's setting the rules. Are they actual swim runners? So there is caution there, but I do feel that if the people who are swim run don't start to think about some kind of governing body association, then British triathlon will eventually come in and take over, possibly in the long term. So, yeah, it's about be the change you want to see, I suppose, is the message. I suppose linking to triathlon, the Xterra series. I was just thinking about different. So the Xterra, I guess, is outside. I think that's outside of kind of British triathlon, anyway. So yeah, anyway, there's all sorts of options, I suppose, and it'd be interesting times to see what happens.
For sure. For sure, it's interesting time. I mean, it's interesting time. I don't see. Like a country like in Sweden, I don't see Swimrun becoming part of any other federation. I see maybe a Swedish Swimrun federation one day happening, but I don't see the sport. And I feel like, okay, you are an organizer of event, then you can do it the way you. If the safety is respected and the environment is respected, then you can organize the type of event you want. We have this freedom, and I don't think that's going to change in this country. But in some other country, like in France or like in the UK, where it's probably more administrative and more strict, I reckon you will have to find the right way to do it. But I think a country like the UK, I mean, you have some strong race organizer, I mean, some strong mind and some good leaders in the UK when it comes to swimrun. I think you have a good power there, and especially to decide where the sport want to go. It's a bit different, I think, than in France. I mean, we started this discussion in France already. I remember to be in some meeting in 2017, 2016 with the French Federation. It was already like almost 10 years ago, and I think you still have the power in the UK to with this strong organizer to decide the direction you want for the sport. I think you should keep it like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. And just got one question here, Peter. It's coming from Peter. I could talk to Nicolas obviously all day about swimrun because he's so knowledgeable and from both racing, coaching, organising. But this is a great one from Peter. If you could give me one tip for transitions, speed and transitions, I guess it means, in swimrun, what would it be, Nicolas?
One tip in transition, I mean, all the races are different. Some races you don't need to be good in transition. I mean, what do we call transition? If it's just the moment you jump in the water or you exit the water, but for me, it's more the moment, the minute before to go in the water and the minute after you exit the water, and the same, the minute following when you enter the water, there is some adaptation to do, and the same running after swimming. There is some, and I think I think it's important to practice your transition, to take it as part of your training. I mean, I've done that a lot. I'm not practicing that much my transition anymore, and I can be a bit rusty at the beginning of the season. Then a couple of long swim run with lots of transition will make it coming back. But I've been practicing that a lot, and I practice that a lot with my customer because, I mean, you go from horizontal to vertical. And if there is a lot of transition in your race, you will do that a lot. And it's taking a lot of energy from you. And some people might find themselves like it's hard to swim after running. It's hard to run after swimming. Then you need to get used to that. And that's a part of the training that you cannot neglect. You cannot say, oh, I've done all my swim this week. I've done all my run. I'm good. And then you have a swim run coming with 15 transition. And I mean, it will take some energy, which is at the after a while, it will take some time and then some frustration, and then at the end of the race, you will say, "Oh, I didn't. I could have done better in my transition. I mean, I should practice." No, I think it's something quite easy to fix. Usually, the way we coaching transition here when we do it with a group, we do it one per one, individual, let's say. You need to be responsible for yourself first. Then you should know your equipment, you should know your routine, you should know how you feel the 1-2 minutes before you do the transition, you go in the water, and you should know the 1 or 2 minutes how you feel when you start swimming. The same on the other way. Then we're repeating that lots of time, and then we start to work when people are really confident. And it doesn't have to be technical transition. It could be just on the beach or on the. It doesn't have to be a super rough technical entry or exit. When you're feeling confident with that, then we start working with a partner. And when two persons are confident with the way they're doing their own transition, then you're doing the same, but you have a partner. I mean, there is a few more things to think about, like especially if you're using a tow line. Then we're gonna practice like that. And when we have some people coming to us, some customer, and they are a team, and they want to improve their transition, I would say 2 times 30 minutes of work, specific work on transition, and then they will be like performant. And that's really good. The feedback we got from these people after their event, they say, "Oh, we were feeling really good at transition. We were passing teams on transition." And I think that's a good feedback. And when we're practicing a transition, I would say you start 90 seconds or 2 minutes before to go to the water. You do your transition, and then you keep swimming 90 seconds or 2 minutes after, just to get into the flow of the swimming. And then you take a break, 30 seconds, 1 minute, and then you do the opposite. You exit the water. And we repeat like that. If you have someone who can record you, we can, like this, you will see that's what we do. I mean, I when I have some customer in PT session, I record them. We're watching the video. Oh, look, you did that the wrong way. I mean, you waste a bit of time there, which is not a big deal, you know. People will say, "Oh, I don't want to win the race. I don't care about doing a top 10, or I'm happy to have fun." Yeah, but you're going to have even more fun if everything is smooth, you know. And that's when they realize that, that's really a big improvement in the fun they have during the day. And because at the end of the day, that's what we remember. Okay, we had so much fun that day. Yeah, because everything was so smooth, and because it's harder to train your swimming or your running. That's taking really more time and more effort than to work on your transition. Then fix your transition. That's a quick fix, and then spend your time working on your swimming and running fitness.
Yeah, that's good. It does. When you nail a transition, it does feel good. So you got that positive energy through the race. So, that's a lot to take in there, Nicolas. And I hope that answers your question there, Pete. So when's your first race, Nicolas, of the season?
My first race, I'm gonna do the Swimrun Super Sprint, and
Nice.
And also the long one on the day after. Then this is the 25th, 26th of June. Sorry, May. 25th, 26th of May. We're going to organize on the 25th of May, the morning of the Super Sprint. We're going to organize a clinic, a race preparation clinic for the people participating on the long race on the Sunday. Then they can join for free on the Saturday morning. We're going to recon a bit the course. We will be there with our coach to help people to. That's what we do in our endorsed race. We try to have a specialist there the day before to help the participant. Now I'm gonna do Ute Swimrun to Attila Ute on the 8th of June too.
Cool.
That's one other I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do Rockman too. Rockman Swimrun in 13th of July. And I'm really happy about Rockman Swimrun. I'm gonna race with one of my customer from the island of Tahiti, actually. And it's a great journey I'm gonna have, because that will be one of the. We won't go for the podium or for the win, but we will go to finish the race. And my job is to help him to go through the race, and it will take the time it will take. But it's a great adventure for me. I see that as a learning process for me to help someone to achieve this goal, which is a big goal for this person. And I like the project, and I say, okay, let's do it. That's for the first part of the year. That's I think enough.
Okay, that's a good start. Well done, good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Nicolas, thank you very much for your time. It's been great chatting to you, and we'll hopefully see you in the season somewhere.
Thank
Happy
you,
training.
Mike. Yeah, I guess we're gonna see each other one of these days.
Yes.
See you. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, that was a great chat with Nicolas there from Envol Coaching. I will link to his website in the show notes, so do check it out if you would like some coaching, training plan, want to connect with swim runners in your area, just anything we've kind of mentioned there, really. What else is happening? Well, swimrun season's nearly upon us. The My Swimrun Championships friendship battle is happening soon. It's just a fun way to motivate your training, so check it out. I'll link to that as well in the show notes. I'm forming a team, so if you want to be in my team, just send me a message and I'll add you to the team. There's quite a few race organisers, including myself, going to the National Outdoor Expo in Birmingham on the 23rd and 24th of March. So do come and say hello. There'll be, if you've got questions about gear, races, training, anything, you should be able to get an answer there. There's also a Splash and Dash organised by Nauka. Check that out. I'll link to it in the show notes. So hopefully might see you there. I'll be there Sunday, the 24th, but there will be swimrun organisers there the whole weekend. So whichever day you can make, it'll be worth your while. Other than that, it's nearly race season, so keep up the training. I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, but that's okay. It's nothing. A bit of Lemsip won't sort out, and maybe a Jameson's. So hopefully see you soon.